West African gas pipeline was the primary pipeline. The secondary pipeline was a network of gas pipelines within Tema Industrial Enclave, and the third wave would have been the Takoradi Business Enclave, a network of gas. The whole idea was that when the gas comes in, it was not only to power big generational, or let's say big gencos, but it was also to go to some of the industrial companies that were prepared to buy their own boilers to have their own self-generating electricity. The right-of-way was acquired. The whole network was drawn out. Even some companies, if I'm not mistaken, acquired some initial investment in preparation to receive gas from the West African gas pipeline for the second phase of the project. Along the line, government changed, and I think the whole thing fell apart, and the second phase of the West African gas pipeline post President Kufuor's regime basically fell on the wayside. Gas, as my brother Kofi said, is very key and essential. That is why I had the opportunity when this whole judgment debt issue came up, and I was with Dr. Kwame Donko on one show, and I told him that, look, you can't honestly convince me that all the negotiation you did with gas and the PPA signed was to give Ghanaians reliable, affordable power, because then you did the wrong thing. As Kofi said, unless gas prices are very low, we can't have cheaper electricity, because the investment into the generating plant, and you mentioned hydro, we are trying to build 3 mini hydros on the Ankobra. We've done various work, done the hydrology and all that. When there was the regime of feed-in tariff, we put a feed-in tariff into our economics and realized that we might need a little bit above, at that time, about 2015, we might need around 13 cents, 14 cents to be able to build with fresh capital in the interest that we borrow to build maybe a 36 megawatt plant at IMANI, which is the south part of the Ankobra River. But at that time, the feed-in tariff for mini hydros was about, I think, 11 cents. And PULC and Energy Commission and the ministry will not give us anything more. The point is, you need to give a little bit more for some of these new infrastructure projects. I mean, when Akosombo was built, I'm sure everybody knows the history. Kaiser came in, built the Valco plant, blah, 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 and that's how Akosombo was able to be built. Without any proper offtake or somebody paying for the cost of the infrastructure, we can never have some of these new plants coming on board. And if now, the way this whole thing has been structured is that there's no more feed-in tariff. They've changed the law to make a build authority the operator's government representative. So now, if I want to develop, as a private company, want to develop Ankobra, I need to go to Build Authority to get Build to buy into the project I want to build. Meanwhile, Build Authority is my competitor. Ghana Water Resource Authority are the ones that the law gives the water bodies to, and they license me to be able to use the water. They also license Build Authority to use the water that they are using. But now there's a law that has now been changed that now says that I have to go to Build Authority for them to now appreciate, understand, and buy into my project before I can build mini hydros in the western, on any of the western rivers. So the issue with all the cost and gas, the immediate solution is the gas that we have, because that one we can just go straight up, negotiate it down to very cheap, and then get affordable power. In the long term, government will have to basically give a little bit more to people like us to be able to build the mini hydros, which will now in the long term will be a bit cheaper.